Alright, I'd just like to say one thing here, a couple things before we get into this horse. You know, getting the videotape and the horses, having everything come down time-wise so that everything works out, you know, so that the horse is in the right stage of what's happening with his hoof, having the owner of the horse cooperative, having the horse cooperative, and then having somebody there to videotape. Some of them I do by myself, and it's not the easiest thing to do. And my son has been tremendous about this. I think he did his first videotaping for me when he was about 8 years old. And he's coming on 17 now. And he probably really doesn't understand or really know how much I appreciate the time he takes out to videotape this stuff for me. So, and anybody else that's ever helped me. There's been a lot of people who have helped me do some videotaping, have done great work for me, but my son does a lot of it, and very little editing now. You know, we've got things because we've done it together so much that he knows just. So I hardly ever have to edit any of his video. He needs a job too. Hopefully he takes up videotaping. Anyways, this horse, you know, I didn't know I was going to pull him out of shoes a couple weeks ago, and I was over there doing other horses, and they said, you know, things don't look right. And I said, yeah, we can do it. But I didn't have the camera with me, so I couldn't show you exactly what the hoof looked like. And you see the hoof is really broken away. It had a nice round shape to it, especially the right front, the black hoof. And you can see where a lot of the front is busted off along the sides towards the quarters. So it really looks, you know, pretty funky. But it had a nice round shape when I pulled the shoe off. So I just wanted to say those little things, and thanks for anybody that helps me or anybody that cooperates with me. Okay. Kind of too bad I didn't have the camera with me 2 weeks ago when I came to do this guy. Well, I didn't actually come to do him, but when I was here, they asked me to pull this guy out of shoes. Like I said, I wish I had the camera, and I could have showed you exactly what the feet looked like then. But all I did was yank the shoes and knock the toe back to where it started touching the sole of the hoof, the sole of the foot, and tried to break that up, because he definitely has a lot of false sole on this right side, and but there was a little discrepancy as to how the left foot was, and I'll show you the bottom in a minute. But I'll show you how long of a hoof wall he has here. It's 3.5 inches, and he's busted off. You can see he's all busted off on here. Same thing with this side here. So I mean, the other toe on the other foot wasn't quite as long, but you can see the angle here. Hold on. So I'll give you a good look at the angle of the hoof. You look at the upper part up near the hairline. You see how shot forward that toe is. So we'll give you a look at the bottom and show you what's going on. Alright, so you can see here we've got a lot of depth along the apex of the frog. Well, it came over like this, and there was just a groove here. And what I did was take my knife and just open that groove up a little bit to help things. That's telling me how much depth the concavity's got. See, there's just a lot of false sole. But it didn't show up at that. That was all firm all the way out to here. You know, so yeah, I nipped them off. I came back to the white line and exposed the front part of the sole here, and just waited 2 weeks and let him show me what's going on because of the discrepancy with the other hoof. And I'll show you what the other hoof looks like now. So what I'm going to do is come in here and get that sole out of there. Like I said, it's still harder on this hoof than the other one. what I'm trying to do is get down here to the apex, to see how much deeper this is. See how deep this is down in here? So you see the depth I have there now? And I'm not even down all the way. So what you got to realize is find the true depth, and then we're going to get this to flow out like a bowl. And as long as you got 3/4 of an inch there, you keep yourself to a point of where you're safe, easily safe. So you really kind of got to know what the bowl should look like, but that comes with experience. And I'm not going to carve all the sole out. I just want to see where the true bowl is and kind of shape it to that. So what I'm doing primarily is working down towards where that true depth is. See, he has a lot of false sole here. So not all of it's going to come off on this foot today, because it's really not exfoliating as good as I'd like it to, but I certainly can find some reality. So I'm just going to taper up the edges here. See, I get a hold of it and then I just kind of pry it. The reality will come off about where it should if it's exfoliating enough. And it's not quite. And you don't worry about that pinkness, because that pink is just where the separation is happening from the old sole and the real sole. So on this foot, it's a lot more taking off and understanding where reality is. See, so I don't have to taper this all the way to the outside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little more of that sole off, but I want you to see how much depth I got. So I'm going to trim the edge like that. And don't worry about carving off all this dead sole. It'll break off. I just want to see the depth. When you understand, when you have that depth, just you have to know what kind of shape the hoof actually should have. I'm going to trim it. He's kind of pulling away here a little bit, but so I'm just going to shape that bowl a little bit. And alright, let's just behave here, buddy. And I'm going to get them close to reality. Now I'm going to trim the outside edge, and don't worry about the rest of that sole. It'll break off, especially now that I open that up. Oop, oop, oop. Come off some of this frog. And it's still going to look like a bit of a mess, but just let the rest of that break off and leave it for a little bit of protection. Oh, pull away, buddy. trying to kind of correct him a little bit here. Like I said, you gotta realize it's gonna look a little bit funky because there's no need to carve off that sole, especially when they're going through a healing process. So see, the bowl I only got here, the rest of that will flow out to the outside. Don't even worry about it. Leave it there for some protection because he just came out of shoes. I just want to get his foot back somewhere so he's not putting so much pressure on his tendons, ligaments. Bit pulling away here. Relax there, mister.
Patience is a virtue. No, look at the floor. No.
Bring his breakover back a little bit. Back to the white line. And I'll dress it from the top. We'll call that good enough. Alright, so here's his right front. And you can see this one here is a lot more exfoliation going on than the other one. See, I can literally get my hoof pick underneath the sole right here, which makes it a lot easier. But he showed me a lot on the other one. And see, a lot of times with this here, I'll just grab it with my nippers and just peel it off. I just got a hold of my nipper there and just pry it back. Grab a hold, pry it back. See, it's just peeling off where it wants to peel off. See, it's just a big chunk coming off. So I'll grab it with my hook pick so you can see it better and I'm not blocking the view. But see, and see there's still a lot more chalkiness underneath. So this, when it gets to this point, it's a lot easier for people that don't know what they're, or not sure what they're doing, to actually get it done. See that chunk just came off in the toe? It's a beautiful thing. Now you can really see how truly shot forward that toe is there. I'll chop that toe right off, right back to the white line. And I'm just going to come in here and clean up a little bit of that my knife so you can see it better. See, because there's still chalkiness there. And I just follow it right out to the outside of the hoof. This bar wants to lift and come off. Here, oh, hang on there, mister. I'll just trim this hoof straight. Notch his toe back so it's somewhat round, not so pointed. Won't go quite back as far as he should, but we'll touch him up again probably in a few weeks. So I'll give you a look at these feet now, where I got them back to. And actually that black hoof actually had a longer toe when I yanked them out of shoes 2 weeks ago. Is actually shorter now, and that's because of the way the sole exfoliated. That hoof was ready to take a lot of sole off easily. And this other one, I'll come back and do them again in about 3 weeks. Because where I left that other sole, where I left the other sole on the other foot, all that stuff will come off and be ready to come off. And you'll see that just this toe here, so I'll give you kind of a shot of what it looks like now. And I backed him up. He's actually behind the white line a little bit on this hoof. Here. Whoops, that's the wrong way. There. Back up a little bit here. See, he's a handsome boy, and he just wants to be in your space. He's a youngster.